Rob Tebbutt here for ID Boxing, joined by Olympic bronze medalist Frazer Clarke. We're here in very, very sunny Loughborough. Frazer, apart from the obvious, being swelteringly hot, how you doing?
I'm all good, I'm loving the weather, to be honest. I know it's hot, but we don't get very often, do we? So let's enjoy it while it's here.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look like you were enjoying it when it came down to the last few rounds of the pad workout in there. It looked like quite heavy work today.
Yeah, it started draining me then, actually. You know, like after you're sweating. No matter how much you drink, you're just leaking, aren't you? So, yeah, it got tiring after a bit. But, you know, we were sensible in that session. We didn't overdo it. We didn't underdo it. Just did enough. Not trying to kill ourselves, you know, in this heat. Just trying to... We don't need to. We've got a big day tomorrow, sparring. So, just about keeping sharp, ticking over today.
Yeah, you're just a matter of days away now from fight week, your second professional fight. Tapering down next week, of course. Just taking it easy over the next couple of days.
Yeah, like last spar tomorrow, I think. Last spar tomorrow. Maybe do a little light spar on Friday. Nothing heavy, just a bit of timing and stuff. But yeah, tapering down now. A little bit of sharp stuff this week and next. Here you go.
So you make your long-awaited return to the ring. We've kind of discussed this over a plate of breakfast this morning. Stay tuned for that on ID Boxing to have a look. But yeah, we've kind of spoken about the fact that you went through an extra cycle as an amateur, or extra couple of cycles as an amateur, and the word was that you would, Frazer going to be fast-tracked. Frazer going to get on with it. Obviously, you've had a hand injury, hasn't quite worked out like that. What's your kind of thoughts of your first year as a professional so far?
It's been challenging, proper. You know, the hand injuries wasn't ideal, but what you got to remember is this is boxing. Anything can happen. That can happen at any time. It's happened. You can either sit there and moan about it or get on with it. As far as the fast track thing goes, I've always said, like, if I felt like I was old, then fast track me. But I don't. I feel great. I feel like I've still got the best yet to come. And with my experience already, I think I'm only getting better as a boxer, as a fighter. So I don't. This fast track thing depends how fast you're talking. But you go, like I said before, I don't want to walk. I don't want to sprint. We just go somewhere in between. Do you know what I mean? The right fights. I leave that to the management and the people at Sky. The right time, propel me in the right way. But I'm getting better all the time, and I know I compete at a good level. So it's all good.
I was just about to say that, really. People talk about you being fast-tracked and being an experienced amateur. People talk about you like you're 40. You're not. You're 30. So, yeah, a bit of an interesting kind of switch. I don't know where that comes from.
I think it comes from back in the day, really. 30 back in the day, when no one had physiotherapists, nutritionists, strength and conditioning coaches, and didn't really know how to look after their body. 30 was you were probably at the end of a hard career, do you know what I mean? Now, you know what I mean? Like, we've got physio 3 times a week. I'm doing my stretching, my yoga 3 times a week. I'm feeling good. I'm healthy. I had the injury, can't be helped. That's nothing to do with being 30 years old. That's just if you're in boxing and you land the right shot and the wrong way, you break a bone. It's just your hands get broken in boxing. It's that simple. But like I say, yeah, I'm good. I'm still good. Like, I'm healthy. Do you know what I mean? I'm healthy. I do all the tests here. They got me on these testing things all the time, on these treadmills with mask on my face, pinching my fat with the body fats. Don't get me wrong, I can be in better shape, and I'm working towards that all the time. But as far as health goes, I'm flying. I'm good.
Before we talk about the future, let's just talk about the hand. There'll be people watching this who don't know what the rehabilitation is like from a hand injury that you sustained. What was it been like? What was it like in the early stages, and how are you with it now? Yeah,
it was difficult. It's a Bennett's fracture. It's a bad fracture of the hand. I'm still gaining strength in it every week now, but it's where I need to be able to punch, be able to spar. And land it just in as you've seen on the pads before. Land it well. That's different, to land it in small gloves on an elbow or on a head. It's all different. So time will tell. But the good thing is I'm a tough man. I'm getting through this next fight no matter what. Do you know what I mean? 1 hand, 2 hand, whatever. I get through it. That's what I have to do. It's my job. It's my duty. But as far as I'm concerned, it's good. The surgeon's happy with it. It's fixed. About the rehabilitation, the forearm, the wrist. It takes time. People think your hand's fixed now. You just go straight back into it. It's a process. There's a lot of rehab. There's working on the water bag. There's deloading. There's loading. There's getting back to using the smaller gloves rather than the 16s and 18s. and even 20s, 22s I've been using now. So, you know, there's all the process to getting back to being able to fight under the lights on fight night.
You were at Sheffield, obviously, for a number of years. You've then come from there to Loughborough, to great institutes, to great sets of facilities. How do they differ working in Sheffield and working in Loughborough?
I think Sheffield they'd been in the boxing game longer. You know, they'd had a lot of experienced boxing coaches around there, experienced boxing team solely focused on boxing. At Loughborough, it's well-rounded. There's all athletes from all different sports here, which is fantastic, you know, for inspiring yourself and looking at other people, how other people work. But ultimately, they're both two institutes with winning mentalities. The whole feeling around the campus is win, improve. People train every day to the highest of their abilities. And it's the same in Sheffield. You know, everyone goes there with the intention to get better, and that's what I like being around. Like, I think I would have found it difficult after so long in Sheffield to walk into a normal gym at the side of the road, a boxing club, old school. You know, which is nothing wrong with that. It's good, but it's not what I'm used to. I'm used to this institute. Like, I come here and I go in and go to my S&C, and I have access to nutritionists. I have a strength and conditioning gym, a strength and conditioning trainer. This works for me.
You obviously enjoyed tremendous success as an amateur, and I think, like, go back sort of 10 years, it was slightly different, but now the amateur code is becoming a lot more like the pros. You've got the WSB, no head guards in the Olympics and the major tournaments. But having said that, it's still a different sport. You're boxing longer rounds, not longer rounds, you're boxing more rounds. How have you found the adjustment? Obviously, you've only had one pro fight, but the training and what have you will be geared a lot more around to being a professional now.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of things I've learned over the years what you need to, like, take with you, know, like being an athlete all year round. You know, I think there used to be this thing like, oh, I can't wait to turn pro because then we'll train for 6 weeks, get ready to fight and then fight. It's not like that at all. That's why I base myself here. This is a all year round job. It's about becoming a better person, a better athlete all year round. Don't worry, we have a switch on for the camps, but all year round we're training and trying to improve different things. But while you mentioned it, yeah, that WSB record, don't let that go unnoticed. 9-0 in the WSB. I boxed some absolute monsters in that, and for me, that's as good. That's. They say it's not pro boxing. You go and watch some of them fights back. They're more brutal than the pro boxing. My debut was the easiest fight of my life compared to them WSB fights. 100%.
Absolutely, I was going to kind of go on to that there. We mentioned kind of the amateur code becoming a lot more like the pros, but unlike the pro code in the WSB, you know, you're fighting the best of the best from all different countries around the world. If you could say one of those 9 WSB bouts, which one's your most difficult?
Difficult. Probably say Kukabayev. He's the other Olympic bronze medalist. He was the world silver medalist twice, Asian Games champion, awkward southpaw, back foot, very fast. Put me down in the first round. I had to get up to win. Yeah, difficult. Very tactical, very fast. A lot lighter than me, could move. But Big Frazer's a ground and pound guy. I got him eventually, you know, ground him down and got him in. I think I got him in the 5th. But I got to him eventually. It was difficult, really difficult night at the York Hall. Good nights, good memories, great wins.
Is it difficult going from, like, I mean, the WSB really is kind of the cream of the crop in the amateurs, and then you've mentioned there, I mean, your debut opponent, obviously you went through a few in the build up to the fight. You landed on Jake Darnell, but you're going from kind of the top level as an amateur to, with all due respect to Jake Darnell and some of the other guys, not the highest level as a pro. How does that change your mentality and your outlook?
Try and keep the same outlook, you know. These guys, like, even my next opponent, like, I've seen him box young prospects coming through, and he can make you look really bad if you let him. Do you know what I mean? Like, some of these guys, I always judge prospects on how they get rid of these so-called lesser opponents. Some of them scrape for on points. Some of them go in there and do a proper job, and they're the ones you look at and you think, yeah, you know what, he can make this really difficult. He knows what he's doing, he's experienced. He's done this before. He's not rushing in. He's not getting tangled up. He's boxing his way around. He's being patient. He's taking his time. That's what I need to do. I'm not, I'm fighting out. Anything can happen. These guys are difficult. They're there to do a job. The guy I've got is going to come to win. I know he's got a winning record. I think he's 5, lost 1, or something like that. So I've got to be on my A game, and I will be 100%.
we've been kind of spoiled, particularly on these shores, with heavyweights over the last 10 years or so. Anthony Joshua, obviously somebody you know very well. Tyson Fury, Joe Joyce, somebody else you know very well. Dillian Whyte, kind of the list goes on, particularly in the UK. But you're part of this kind of new wave of heavyweights, so to speak, coming up behind those guys. Who would you put in that group alongside yourself?
I think at the minute, you know, if you look at the top guys like you just mentioned, you got to go Fury, Joshua, Joyce, Dubois, Dillian Whyte, and then you've got the two that have just been ordered to fight for the British. Is that Gorman and Wardley? Then you've got the new crop coming through. There's myself, there's Johnny Fisher, there's Tom Welsh, there's Jamie TKV, and there's probably other names which I'm missing, but you know, I think just on the amount of fights we've had, you've got to put us in the same sort of bracket. I mean, I've had one, some have had 2, 3, 4, but there's always unknowns coming through. You know, there's always people popping up that I keep seeing. I know there's some talented guys out there that just probably aren't on big TV stations, and you don't get to hear about them. But I always keep my eye out because you never know, you know, who's around the corner.
And outside of the British heavyweights and the British crop, one name that you're very familiar with, you're probably sick of talking about him, certainly fighting him, Bakhodir Jalolov, also doing his thing now as a professional, of course, turned pro before the recent Olympics. What do you make of him? And I'm sure that's a fight that you're looking at potentially down the line, at least in the pros.
Yeah, he's a beast. Like I can't butter it up any other way. You know, the guy's got frightening power. Twice I fought. I've got a win over him, by the way. Got a win over him. It was when he was a lot younger, to be fair, and I matured a bit quicker than him, I think. But I'll take it because he's turned into a hell of a fighter. But yeah, good fighter. Other than that, nice geezer, really nice guy, polite guy. As you've seen in our fight at the Olympics, I actually watched it back for the first time the other day. And like I said, I'm proud of myself, you know. For saying I think I had at that point probably 20 odd stitches, 19 stitches in my face, and I was advised against fighting him. You know, the cuts are going to come open. There wasn't a chance I wasn't not going to fight him, and I gave myself a really good go against him. I did. I could have even gone at him more. I was sort of talked out of going at him by the coaches, but I wanted to get in there and take it to him. I was told to box, so I did. But yeah, great fighter. Just frightening power, and the way he can move really well. You know, like you talk about your Furies being able to move. He's very nimble on his feet, and yeah, there's not going to be too many people queuing up to box him. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think you're right on that regard. Just going back to Tokyo, not only did yourself, I mean, everybody who watched that, I mean, we were staying up into the middle of the night watching every GB fight. All good with that? Yeah, sorry. Staying up to the middle of the night to watch every GB fight. We could see how much it meant to you. I mean, it's all over your face about how much it meant to medal. But of course, your little mate Galal Yafai picking up gold, Ben Whittaker taking silver. Not only a great tournament for Team GB, but also for Birmingham and Midlands boxing. Yeah,
you know, I was unbelievably proud of not just like myself, but Galal. You know, the Val Barker Trophy, if it was about, should have gone to Galal Yafai, you know, 100%. A flyweight that can create that much destruction in the ring is a dangerous man. Nailed on world champion, a great fighter. You know, his attitude to boxing is second to none. Like, he's not scared of no one. His attitude is get in there and beat the shit out of him. And you've seen that from his first few pro fights. Ben Whittaker, arguably the most talented kid I've ever seen. Honest to God, he is really that good. We're going to see what he's made of in the program, and that'll be interesting. But he's just top fighter, top people as well. These guys come from good families. That's a good thing, you know. They're very grounded people. It was an honour, you know, to share a room. We had our room. We had Peter McGrath in there. It was while he was unlucky. We had Chevron Clarke. After they left, it was me, Galal, and Ben, and we basically said to each other, you know what? 2 of the lads have gone out early in the competition. There's us 3 left. You know, let's get on this. You know, we're from the Midlands. Let's not come all this way and do all this work for all these years for no reason. Let's get it done, and we did. You know, we brought 3 medals back to our little room, 705, room 705. Yeah, we did well. I'm proud of him. But also just a quick mention for one of the other lads who you haven't really seen a lot of him, and no one has actually. But Pat McCormack. You know, I just feel like he's sort of gone a bit under the radar. I don't know what's going on with his situation, with his, with who he's boxing for and when he's boxing, but another massive talent, silver medalist. So I just feel like it's taking a bit longer for him to come along and get the exposure, but hopefully in the next few months, you'll see a lot more of Pat, because the whole team was great, but if I'm going standouts, I'm going to go Ben Whittaker, Galal and Pat McCormack, 100%.
I think Pat's actually boxing on the same
Same
night
day.
as you
Yeah,
on a Wasserman card recently announced. But yeah, very talented fighter. Shout out Pat McCormack, working under Ben Davison at the minute.
And Luke, obviously, great fighter as well.
Not sure what's going on with his career at the minute.
No. I'm sure they're working away, and before long he'll be on in front of everyone, entertainer. Let's put it that way.
You mentioned Ben Whittaker there, and looking forward to seeing him and being such a talent. Of course, he is in action, making his professional debut on the same card as yourself, July the 30th, down in sunny old Bournemouth by the beach. A bit of fish and chips, as we were talking about earlier. What a great card for yourself to be on as well, alongside him, Caroline Dubois. Obviously, great main event between Chris Billam-Smith and Isaac Chamberlain as well.
It's the new age, isn't it? Boxing, it's moving to a new age. I got a bit of stick the other day, actually. I got a bit of stick on Twitter because I said, boxing fans, can we start filling stadiums again? Can we start filling venues rather? Because remember, I've been in boxing now for a while with all the security days and stuff. Like the era of, let's say, Kell Brook headlining up Sheffield, Crawler in Manchester, Tommy Coyle up in Hull, Luke Campbell, all them times there, boxing was really buzzing. Not just on social media like I feel it is now. I feel like it's buzzing on social media at the minute. Whereas you get to the stadium, sometimes you got like 2,000 or 3,000 in there, and I get it. Prices have gone up. Promoters, TV people, let's get the prices back down. Affordable tickets for people, and then people are talking about undercards not being as good. I get it. I understand. There's a lot of prospects coming through at the minute, so obviously you have to understand that the level they're fighting at. There's not going to be let's face it, there's not going to be a lot of 50-50s just yet. But get behind your people, support your people. These young guys coming through, myself included, get behind us, support us. Let's fill the stadiums, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, fill in the MEN, fill in the arenas in Birmingham, the NEC and whatnot. It's just gone a little bit quiet for me, and I understand it's difficult for everyone. Like I say, money is tight, this is not cheap nights, but let's bring them days back. Like I say, that era, Kell Brooks, Corollas, all them, they used to pack out stadiums, Sheffield, Manchester. It was great nights. Yeah,
just to echo that, I think that'd be great for the sport. Hopefully, we're kind of in this kind of little transitional phase post-COVID, when you've got more networks and more promoters, which is great for fighters, but also can mean sometimes that you don't often get a lot of cross-promotional fights and people are sort of building their stable. But I think you're right. I think that would be great.
It's the headliners. That's what we need. But we need a few headliners. Everyone's just say the headliners are up here. You're just sort of in that middle space at the minute, do you know what I mean? But there'll be a few breakthroughs soon, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I think that's why the Billam-Smith-Chamberlain card works really well. You've got a very solid European title fight at the top of it, and allows people like yourself, Caroline Dubois, Hassan Azima, and could keep going on for that card to box underneath them. Well, you've just mentioned there about kind of filling out arenas and obviously in your home city of Birmingham. What would it mean to you to one day bring a big show back to Birmingham, boxing for the British title, or down the line a world title in your home city?
I mean, I can't claim I'm from Birmingham. I'm from near Birmingham, from Burton-on-Trent. We'll take it.
The Midlands.
The Midlands, yeah. With me, Ben and Galal, three talents from Birmingham. And there's a lot of other talented fighters going, they're going to go unmentioned. The potential's there, definitely. For me personally, I want to headline. I want to be a headliner. I want to win titles, headline shows, pack out stadiums. But like I say, I want it to be affordable for people. I don't want a night of watching me boxing to wipe everyone out. Do you know what I mean? So there's the money people out there. Come talk to me. Let's do something for the people. Because people are good. The world's full of good people. Let's give them a reasonably priced show. Even Burton Albion, the football club, we can pack that out one day next summer. I think that's like 5,000 or 6,000 with the pitches as well. Let's pack that out. Let's get a good fight on there, little town. Let's spread it around, spread the boxing about.
Just want to talk about your training situation here. Obviously not here at the minute. He's with the big man, Anthony Joshua, but Angel Fernandez doing great things in the sport. He's got yourself, he's got Richard Riakporhe. He's obviously worked with Anthony Joshua. He's kind of been around the circuit for a long time. He's just starting to come into his own now as a lead trainer. Tell us about what working with Angel Fernandez is like. What has he added to your game after coming out of the amateurs?
Yeah, I think, one of the big things coming out of the amateurs for me was I was a bit comfortable in Sheffield. I needed a change. I'd been there for so long. I had too many distractions up there. I had just walking to the same gym every day was difficult. So I'd come here, seen Angel a little bit, and I think the thing that caught me about him straight away was how much he's involved in boxing. He loves boxing. If he's not training boxing, he's watching boxing. If he's not watching it, he's training us. It's been great, you know. It's been challenging at times, you know, changing trainers, changing methods, new style. It's difficult, you know. I'm a grown man. It's like it can become challenging at times, but I'm stick to the code. Whatever the coach says goes. He's the boss. I'm the trainer. That's how it goes. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it, you know. Like I say, he's got a task on his hands at the minute with myself, Kieran, Richard, and AJ. We're all striving. We've all got big goals, huge goals. But he handles it well. Like I say, he can't be here at the minute. He's out with AJ and Saudi. Perfectly understands, you know. He's put everything in place for me back home with assistant trainer Jason Allen. You know, he's doing a good job. You just seen him on the pads there with us, you know, talking us through, and he brings his own thing to the table. Yeah, like I say, I think the next year for us at Loughborough University and Loughborough Boxing is very exciting.
If you could pinpoint one or maybe more than one parts of your game that he's tried to improve from a technical aspect, what would you say it is?
Slow things down a little bit. I had a tendency to rush a little bit, you know, with just the amateur speed of the fights, maybe slow things down a little bit. And he's just told me a lot of time he talks to me about just slowing down and taking my time, two different things, you know what I mean? Work every day, he gives me lots of stuff to watch, you know what I mean? Watch these old fighters, look at what they do, you know. Who we've been watching recently, we've been watching Tommy Hearns recently, and you know, the way he was very patient, he didn't fall in, he just stayed in front of his man fainting, and he went when he was ready, stuff like that. So I think for me, he's told me to slow it down and probably sit on the shots a little bit more.
Which Hearns fighters have you been watching?
Who was he fighting? No, we didn't watch the Hagler fight because he got destroyed, didn't he? We watched Tommy Hearns. Yeah, versus. He's going to curse me for not knowing, you know.
Leonard, Duran,
No.
Cuevas?
No, one Duran. Little black fella, really good fighter. Really good fighter. Is he like a, mustache. I can't think of his name. I'm going to get cursed. It's doing my head in. But yeah, we've been watching that. Unbelievable.
Very good fighter. Before we wrap things up, we've mentioned his name a few times. Might as well talk about Anthony Joshua, as you've mentioned there, just out in Saudi, went a couple of days ago, preparing for his rematch of Alexander Usyk. First of all,
Wilfred Benitez.
Wilfred Benitez. When you said black, I was thinking, Wilfred Benitez, not black.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Wilfred Benitez, very good fighter. Youngest world champion in the history of boxing. 17 years old.
Yeah, but Tom did a number on him, man. Yeah, I mean, proper, good fight.
Two very special fighters in there. Yeah, absolutely. But Anthony Joshua, first of all, what did you make of the first fight? And second of all, how do you expect him to change things going into the rematch?
First fight, I was there with my dad ringside. I think at that point in there, I remember I'm a boxing realist, I'm boxing through and through. I was looking around and I was gobsmacked at some of the people, some knowledgeable people in boxing were thinking, he's won this. And I was there just looking at people going, I had my hand, there's a picture of me somewhere, you know, like this after the fight, before the decision. And people are saying to me, like, no, he's got it. I said, he's nowhere near got it, do you know what I mean? He got it wrong. There's top of what he got it wrong on that day, for whatever reason. Who knows? You know, like I say, I think he has to take sole responsibility. He's changed things up though. He's changed trainers. He's changed location. You know, the one thing you can't knock about this man is his desire and his dedication. He's actually done. How long do we say he's done the camp here? 12 weeks before they flew out. Probably 16, and that's not going back to London. That's staying here in a little hotel around the corner on this campus. He's not left. He's been focused on getting better, improving. Yeah, the first fight, it wasn't a true representation of himself, but I've seen big improvements. I've seen a flipping mentality. I've seen new trainers come in with new ideas, and I've seen him adhere to them ideas. I've seen, you know, the old school style of Robert Garcia. I think that's something that will really help him. You know, like he's a straight talking ex-world champion who's trained world champions, and yeah, I think you got a tough fight. It's a very difficult fight with Usyk. You know, no matter how you butter it, it's a very difficult fight. But I guarantee it's a closer fight than the first one. You know, it's going to be difficult to beat him. He's very good, but he can win 100%. And I believe if he does what he's told to do, he'll win it. He'll knock him out.
Without obviously divulging too much of the secrets of Robert Garcia, him coming into camp, what sort of things can we expect to see him implement with Anthony Joshua on fight night?
I think, you know, I can't discredit Angel Fernandez's work, because Robert Garcia hasn't come in and flipped it on its head. What Angel was doing was very good, but I think to have that experienced eye in your corner, a man who takes no bullshit, you know, there's no oh, I want to do this. You know, what Robert comes in and says is what's happening in the gym. If not, Robert gets on the plane and goes back. It's that simple. You know, he's a no-nonsense coach, and I think even Anthony, at the stage of his career, he's got all the money in the world. He's done everything you could possibly want to do as a boxer. If he retired tomorrow, so I think maybe you just need that little foot up your arse, you know, now and then. And I think Robert was the man to come in and do it. I don't want to do an extra 2 minutes on the bag. You're going to do it. You know what I mean? You're going to do it. You're going to do this. You're going to do it as I tell you. So I just think just the straight talking. It's not like I say. It's not wonders that he's doing. It's basics, and just telling him, you know, repeating to him and drilling to him that working hard will beat everything. You know, tactics and going over stuff. He's almost on repeat, but it's very good stuff.
Final question, because I think we're running low on battery here. Always a pleasure to catch up with you. We've mentioned Anthony Joshua there. I know you're a boxing, as you mentioned, a boxing realist and somebody who loves the sport. Alexander Usyk, just how difficult of a challenge is it for Anthony Joshua against a man of that caliber?
Oh, it's honestly an uphill task, massively. You'll never understand. Someone who made a comment last week that's saying that, it might have been Johnny, he might have banged his head saying it is an average southpaw. Yeah. Don't do me a favour. You say that until you're in the ring with these guys. They're clever, you know. And that's not that wherever he was orthodox or southpaw, he'd be a hell of a fighter, because they're clever in what they do. You know, they know boxing. They're very experienced. He's had 300 odd amateur fights. How many pro fights? You just know they know the way around the ring. They're crafty. They can box when they need to box. They can tie you up if they need to tie you up. They're moving constantly. And don't get me wrong, he'll have a little pop in him as well. You know, like them cruiserweights. You know, they're fast as well as quite big. They hurt, you know, when they hit you. They come really sharp and keen. Like, I sparred with loads of cruiserweights, and they're almost some of the heavyweights. You see them come with the cruiserweights. They're fast. He's a handful, you know, and Anthony Joshua's going to have to give his absolute best to win this. But that's what he's going to go and do.
Okay, well, Frazer Clarke, thank you so much for having us down to Loughborough today. I think we've got some great stuff. Real pleasure to see you in action. Looking forward to seeing you in your second pro fight on July 30th in Bournemouth.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks very much for speaking to ID Boxing.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.